Listen, really look and sort of think about, okay, try and remember what these organs look like. Lindsay? Yeah, I do. Hold on one second.
How many organs are there on the quiz?
There's about 10 organs. So your quiz tomorrow, there's basically on your quiz tomorrow, there's 20 questions. 10 questions in which you're going to identify, this is what your quiz looked like. So 10 questions in which you're going to have to write down the organs that are being pointed at in the presentation. Ryan, leave that. The other side, you're going to write the function of those organs. So you're going to have to identify 10 and tell the function of them. So let's review those. Is that remote around here? You have it on the worksheet. Yeah, Mr. Farrow reviewed with you, all the function of all those organs. You have that. In fact, maybe that's something, if you want to get it out now, as I give you some tips to remember what they look like, you could write down some notes.
Tell us which 10 we need to know.
No. So the way the quiz will go tomorrow is basically it'll be similar to this. It's not this presentation, it's not these exact pictures, but similar. And we're going to point out numbered organs. You're going to have to write down what they are and what they do.
Is this a video?
No. So, let's start off here. Now, this one, please don't say them out loud. This one is probably one of the easiest organs to identify because it's the largest. It's quite obvious. What are these arrows pointing to, Kai? Liver. That's the liver, correct. Now it has lobes to it. It has 3 sort of sections to the liver. It's brownish in color. That's the liver. Who could remind me, what does it do? What's the function of the liver? Because not only do you have to identify it, you have to tell its function. Elise? Yeah, it makes bile.
I thought it stored.
Hold on. No, it makes bile. We'll get to storing bile in a minute. It makes the bile, which digests it. It also helps filter things out of our blood, or out of the frog's blood. So liver should be an easy one to identify. It's really big, right in the middle of the frog, brownish in shape, in color. Now, a couple things about this. This is one of the more difficult organs. But you have to sort of look at, okay, in this picture, what is this probe like holding back? What's this?
Oh, the lung?
Nope.
Liver.
That's the liver. So they're kind of holding up the liver to show this thing, which is underneath. What I do not like about this photo, though, is the color is not great. The color that you guys saw yesterday, and the color, I believe that's on the quiz tomorrow, it's sort of yellowish green, not dark in color. What organ is this, Kaya? Yeah, that's the gallbladder. The gallbladder is tucked underneath the lobes of the liver. Ryan,
Yeah.
what does it do?
That stores bile.
Yes, that's what stores bile. So the liver, which is right near it, makes the bile, sends it into this gallbladder to be stored until it's needed. Okay, so you're looking for a small little, so in the gallbladder, a small little circular sort of ball that's just underneath the liver. Often it's greenish yellow. It looks like, and when you guys saw it, probably looked like a deflated pea. Like if you smushed the insides of a pea and you had just the shell, it's kind of what it looks like. All right, now, hold on. In this picture of the frog, a bunch of organs have been removed to make it easier to see. If you remember, when we were walking around, we had to move apart some of the organs to show you the organs towards the back of the frog. In this picture, they've been removed. So this is pointing to this tiny little tube here. Or you see one here on this side. It's very, very thin. Lindsay? It is the sperm duct. These are the testes, but they're connected to the sperm duct, which carries the sperm from the testes to the cloaca to be released. So they're a very, very thin tube. They're located in the back of the frog along the sides. Anything that's labeled with a tiny thin tube, kind of looks like ramen noodles, very curly, that is the sperm duct. Now, many of you did not see this, or many of you didn't have this,
Oh, eggs.
but some of you did. This is a female frog.
Oh, I know.
Now, who had the female frog in there? So what you saw was lots and lots of what?
Eggs.
Eggs. And now that depends on when the frog was harvested, when it was collected. Because the female doesn't always have eggs inside of the oviduct. Okay? When after she releases them, obviously they're gone. They're out in the water ready to be fertilized. This is a female frog which does not have eggs in it currently. But this stuff that looks kind of like mashed potatoes, what part is that?
It's not
It's the oviduct. Okay, that's what would carry those eggs. They're really big because they have to hold all those eggs, transport them out of the frog's body. So they bring eggs from the ovaries to the cloaca to be released. Here we have a frog's mouth, obviously. Now, this is the tongue, you see, connected at the front. But this is pointing to these little bumps there. Does anyone remember what those bumps were? I don't know that it was necessarily spelled out in your lab. Yeah, they're called, they're a special type of teeth. They're not teeth like we have. They're not made of enamel. Frogs don't chew up their food. They don't even break up their food. These are these two little sort of bumps. What does it do? Yeah, it helps hold on to the prey as they're swallowing. Basically, frogs capture prey and swallow it whole. They don't chew it up. Those bumps, those vomerine teeth, help them to just hold on to their prey while they swallow.
Can you go back?
Now this one, this next one, you have to really look carefully at to like where the arrow's pointing and what's connected to what. So you see here, what? I don't want to raise your hand and take a stab at this one. What is this part? Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but if you know the location of these organs and you see what's connected to what, I think you could probably tell. Kyle? That's the large intestine, correct. How do you know that's the large intestine?
Wait, am I going?
Yeah.
Because like the large intestine is like around it, kind of.
Is what? Rounded?
It's kind of like around it.
Oh, around it? I don't know if I'm following you. Jordan?
It's like a sack.
Sort of. So what I tried to show you guys when I was walking around your groups, if you follow the small intestine, what eventually happens to it?
It like goes in.
It goes all around. That's all small intestine. And then what?
Like down.
It gets wider. It gets a wider diameter. If you follow, this is small intestine, small intestine, small intestine. Then right here, it sort of widens out. And that forms the large intestine, which leads to the cloaca. So it's pretty short, but it's a wider part of the small intestine. What is the job of the large intestine? Okay?
Like it gets rid of water.
Yeah, well, sort of. It reabsorbs water. It reabsorbs water that the frog can use. Takes it out of the waste and keeps it. Again, there's a bunch of organs that have been removed from this picture, so you can see way in the back of the frog. So raise your hand, please. What is this? There's also one on that side. Way in the back of the frog. The color is something. Avery? No? Elise? No? Jordan? Those are the kidneys. They're reddish brown. They're way in the back of the frog. They're sort of elongated. So they're long organs like this. There's one on each side of the spine. Those are the kidneys. What do kidneys do? What's their function? Alan? What? They filter blood and produce what, Emily? Urine. They produce urine and they filter out waste from the blood. Just moved up a tiny bit for this arrow. Some of you saw this, some of you did not, but you all should know it. What are these two little tic-tac-like things? Is it? Nope. These things? Hiya? Those are the testes, yep. Those are the testes. What do they produce? Sperm and testosterone. Now sex one. Going up a little higher in these organs that are way in the back of the frog. So we had kidneys, we had the testes. Now we're going up even higher.
I know this.
Okay, hold on. Alex, those are the lungs. They're very spongy. These ones look like kind of blackberries. They're on each side of the heart. They're squishy. They have a unique texture to them. Those are the lungs. What's the function of the lungs? What's their purpose? Aiden? Yeah, they oxygenate the blood. But so this one, the probe is touching it, the arrow's pointing right to it. This would be another easy one to identify. Raise your hand. Mia? That's the stomach. It's on the frog's left side, sort of tucked under the liver, shaped kind of like a banana. That's the stomach. What is its function? Stomach. Okay? Let's say, yeah, digest food. Has hydrochloric acid in it. Breaks down food. Nope. Now this is sometimes another tricky one. Because this looks a lot like an organ we saw earlier. It's also round. It's often reddish brown. But it's in a different spot when you're looking in the frog. What is it, Cat? No. Sorry. Yes. I was looking at another organ. So yes, the arrow is pointing to the small intestine. I was looking at the probe. This is the small intestine, winds around. What happens in the small intestine? Emily? Digestion and absorption of nutrients, yeah. This is the one I was just talking about. Again, it's round, it's reddish brown, it's a little ball. Sometimes tough to see when you're doing your dissection. You gotta move the intestines around. Kyle, you know where it is? No. Okay. Yeah, that is the spleen. So what does it look like that I showed you earlier? It looks a little like the gallbladder, but the location's different. Where was the gallbladder? Under the liver. The spleen is behind the intestines. So that is the spleen. Spleen's job is to help destroy red blood cells that are no longer useful, to help filter out the blood.
Wait, we have a spleen, right?
Yeah, we have a spleen. All right, raise your hand.
Oh, that's easy.
Hold on. Looking for somebody I have call Avery. Can you answer this for me first? Yes. Those are the fat bodies that we saw in the next slide. So fat bodies, it depends on the frog, like I was talking about earlier, how much food it's had, how much excess energy it has. They could be very large, could be small, but they're very easy to identify. They're orangish in color. They're shaped like a bunch of bananas or something. Jordan? What does it do? Stores energy. That's going to be used eventually during hibernation. Another easy one to identify. Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand, please. Birthday girl. is the heart? The heart is right in the middle of the frog. When you guys were doing your dissection, it was up higher though. Some of you didn't expose it at first. You had to cut up a little higher. It's in the middle of the frog's body, just above the liver, right in the middle. Here is a good picture. You can see the chambers. You can see there's 2 atria and 1 ventricle in the amphibian heart.
Is this the last one?
I don't know.
Running out of those. That's the ear.
Madam? Yeah, that's the tympanum. That's the eardrum. It's how the frog hears.
What was the next slide?
All right, what's this showing?
They checking
The
in.
tongue attached in the front.
Wait, this thing is on.
Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna be doing every single one that we're going over?
No, it will. Your quiz will be 10 of these organs. All right, I'm going to go way back here and just look at the unlabeled one for a second. Okay. Raise your hand, please, if you can tell me what organ this is.
Oh yeah, that's
Raise
not
your,
it.
raise your hand. Hold on. Lots of people want to answer. I'm trying to find some people that haven't answered many questions.
Me, I'm on my
Lindsay. That's the liver, yes. Again, raise your hand, please. Just show me, tell me what organ this is and here. And okay, Natalia. Fat bodies. How about this? This right there. It's kind of a little weird place in this picture, but I think you can get it. Right?
Large intestine?
No?
Oh, small intestine.
No?
What?
That's the stomach.
Oh wow, that's stupid.
Okay, it's on the no, it's the left side. It's enlarged, but it all kind of looks very similar. But the first part is the stomach. How about this?
That's
Raise your hand, please, Emily. Small intestine. This. Alex? That's the heart. Tell me, you can sort of see them here and here. That and that. What would that be, Alex? Those are the lungs back there. If I were to lift up this lobe of the liver and find something there, what would it be, Miranda? That would be the gallbladder. If I were to lift up these intestines and find a little brownish ball, what would that be? Mia? That would be the spleen. If I were to follow the small intestine and see down here, probably underneath the stomach, it gets wider. What would that be, Aiden? Large intestine. If I were to take all these organs out, to look way in the back of the frog and find a couple red organs on each side of the spine, what would that be, Aaron? Kidneys. Good. So any questions about the appearance of these organs? So again, the quiz tomorrow will be a presentation. We'll be clicking through, showing you numbered arrows, pointing at different pictures, different organs within the frog. You'll write down the name of the organ, and then you'll write down its function. 10 of them. There's photographs like this.
Really hard one.
Some will be more challenging, some will be easier.
I know all of this.
Yeah, all right, questions from Kate? Yes.
The ones that you just showed us is the ones we need to see.
Yes.
Okay, so I was 16. Is there a way to like extend with the diagram, like to get like a picture?
I'm going to give you in a minute. Kate asked a good question. Is there a way to study with a diagram? So yes and no. I'm going to give you, I have 2 separate diagrams. They're similar but different views. The thing about diagrams, and we talked about this with lots of things, is they're drawn nice and neat and everything's very clear. In a real animal, in a real photograph, sometimes things aren't laid out. Like this frog, the stomach is like pushed down a little bit, right? It looks not quite exactly like you might have saw yesterday. So there's a lot of variation within an organism. The picture can help you understand sort of how things are connected and generally where they're located. but really the pictures are the best. But I'm going to give you 2 pictures you can use. All right, so I'm going to give you those 2 pictures. You can use them on your own, and then we have one other thing we need to do to them.
You could, and then,
I know every